Hello, everybody. Dennis Sepulveda here from DennisKnowsRealEstate.ca. We are now in June. May is over. So today I'm going to talk about what's happening in the market right now. Next month, I'm going to do a deep dive into where we're at as far as the market as a whole. We're going to do a little bit of a micro and macroeconomic view of the market and try to sort of guess how we got here and where we're going. But for today, we're going to talk about May. This is where we're at today. And what I'm really seeing out there right now, there's a really big disconnect between sellers' expectation and buyers' expectations. So this is common in real estate. This is not something that that is new for us, but we're starting to see it just because prices are down so significantly that it's really it's a tough pill to swallow. I've been telling this to my sellers. You know, I show them the numbers, but they're still like, oh gosh, is my property really worth that much less than it was a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago? And unfortunately, the answer is yes. And you know, even though that they're seeing the numbers out there, it's still really hard to believe. And people think, well, maybe I'll get lucky. And there's not a lot of people getting lucky in this market. I'll give you a small example. I saw a home today that I was talking to a client of mine about. It was originally listed a year ago at 2.78. It's a detached home in North Vancouver, listed at 2.78. And now they're down to 2.1. So that's a huge drop. Apparently they had an offer at 2.5 that they didn't accept near the beginning, and now they're having to sell it close to 2.1 in and around that range. So that's just a small example of what we're seeing out there. And I know it's a little bit painful, but the good news is if you're making a lateral move or upsizing, this actually works in your benefit. If you're making a lateral move, it doesn't matter. It's a wash. You know, you're going to lose on your property now, but you're going to gain on the property that you buy. If you're moving up, it's a great time to upsize. I've been telling everyone right now, if you're looking to move from that condo to the townhome, now's the time. I had a conversation this morning with a client who wants to buy a rental property, and this is an absolutely amazing time to get a rental property because prices are down so much right now. So you can capitalize on the down market. So that's kind of where we're at. Let's take a look at the numbers a little bit more specifically. Sales last month were 3.5% below the previous year. And sales were 26% below the 10-year seasonal sales average. So we know sales are down. That's no surprise to everyone, to anyone. Newly listed homes are 7.6% down compared to last May, but they were actually up 1.3% above the 10-year seasonal average. So that's great for newly listed homes. We're starting to see a little bit of a boost there. Let's look at the sales to actives listing ratio, because this is actually kind of interesting. You would expect this to be a screaming buyer's market, but it really isn't. Sales to actives listing ratio right now for each property type, if we look at them individually, the detached is sitting at 10%, which is a buyer's market. That's no surprise there. Townhomes are actually 15%, which is a balanced market, and condos are 14%, which is also a balanced market. So there's still balanced markets, even though these are screaming buyer's market conditions, and that's kind of what the newspapers are telling us, and that's what we're hearing out there from everyone. They are still kind of balanced, which is good. Balanced markets are great for buyers and sellers. So you really need to look at each individual market specifically to see what's happening there. There's not just one broad brush that for the whole market as a whole. Prices are, however, coming down. So the home price index right now for all of Greater Vancouver, so this is for all property types, is sitting at 1.1 million, which is down 6.2% from last year. Now, 6.2% is a lot of money when we're talking about millions of dollars, but considering other markets, if you look at Toronto and other parts of the world, they're way down. They're down double digits. So Vancouver, I've said this for a long time, is very resilient. 6.2% compared to what else is out there is not that bad. Where this market's going to go from here, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to happen. I've had this conversation with multiple people. Nobody knows. We're trying to get that crystal ball out. But if you watch my video next month, I am going to do a deep dive into the economics of how we got here and where we might be going. So stay tuned for that video. That's about it for today, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me anytime. I'm always happy to chat. We can look at your specific market if you are a buyer or a seller, and then different neighborhoods. There's all these little micro things that we need to look at depending on what you're hoping to do. Thanks again, you guys. Have a great day. I hope you're out there enjoying the World Cup and this amazing weather, and I hope to see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.